The family in Seaside hosted a birthday gala for their oldest son, Ethan. A piano competition was held at the gala to select a fiancé for Ethan, as he had once stated that his wife must play the piano beautifully. In her previous life, Anya was the one who shone at that gala. The family formed an alliance by marriage, and Anya married into the family. Celeste, whom he loved, fell ill and passed away from sorrow. After he became Vance CEO, Celeste's memorial plaque was placed in the main hall of the family estate, and he forced Anya to pay penance for 3 days and nights before it. If you hadn't injured Celeste's hand before the gala, my parents would have surely preferred her. It's because of you that she and I are separated by death and unable to be together. The position of Mrs. Vance should have been hers. His first act after taking office was to maliciously acquire the corporation, leading to the group's bankruptcy. Richard, consumed by rage, suffered a heart attack and died. Vivian, overwhelmed by grief, passed away a year later, and the family subsequently declined. In this life, at the family's birthday gala, Anya deliberately injured her wrist, withdrawing from the competition among these young women from prominent families vying for the position. He wanted a lifelong, devoted partnership with Celeste, and Anya allowed them to be together. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you are listening from. The winner of this piano performance, having received the most votes, is Miss Celeste from the family. At the birthday gala, Aunt loudly announced the name of the first place winner. Everyone whispered, she actually won first place. I heard Anya sprained her wrist and couldn't perform. Celeste is really lucky. Isn't Anya the Vance family's preferred daughter-in-law candidate? But it was agreed that the first place winner would be Ethan's fiancé, a rule Ethan himself set. Ethan's Ace beamed with joy and delight. He tightly clasped Celeste's hand and stepped forward. Richard, Vivian, this is the fiancé your son has chosen. Ethan's eyes were filled with tenderness, and Celeste looked shy, her face flushed as if about to drip blood, but her hand never once loosened its grip on Ethan's. Everyone looked at Anya, whose wrist was still wrapped in gauze, with sympathetic eyes, secretly enjoying the drama. Eleanor looked at Anya, hesitant to speak. After all, she had hinted at choosing Anya as her daughter-in-law, and had even discussed it with Anya's parents, fearing Ethan would arrange a blind date for Anya with another scion from a prominent family. But now, a sudden mishap had occurred. Eleanor hesitated for a moment and asked Ethan, "Is there any other girl you like? Richard is happy today. Perhaps if you say it, your father will cancel today's performance results, and you can reconsider." She then glanced at Anya, subtly suggesting he think again. However, Eleanor was mistaken, because Anya no longer wished to marry Ethan. In her previous life, Ethan accused Anya of breaking Celeste's hand, preventing her from performing, but that was something Anya would never stoop to. If he had calmly considered Anya's usual character, he would have known she wouldn't do such a thing. But seeing Celeste with her head down and red eyes, his heart had already ached for her. Celeste pulled her hand away from his and said, "I know Ms. Anya doesn't like me, but I only want a fair chance to be with you. Why can't she even give me that? Is it just because her father is the Hayes CEO? Is it because the family's family background isn't as prestigious as hers now?" That one sentence of hers laid the root of future disaster for Ethan's malicious acquisition of the group after he took over. Later, Anya learned that the long-lost piano piece she performed in her previous life had impressed even the principal pianist of the National Orchestra, who nodded in satisfaction. And Celeste, seeing she couldn't possibly win against Anya, deliberately cut her own hand with a paring knife, using it as an excuse to lose the competition. In this life, Anya would not give Celeste another chance. She would rather feign an accidental wrist injury publicly at the spring gala the day before, causing her inability to participate in today's competition, than to invite criticism again. If they wanted to be together, Anya would allow them to in this life, and she would keep her distance from them. Ethan, hearing his mother's question, declared loudly, "Vivian, Celeste is the only woman I love. Since she received the most votes in the performance, according to the rule I originally set, I will marry her. In this life, I will only love Celeste." Eleanor sighed helplessly, "I have no objection to you marrying her, but an alliance by marriage between two families is no small matter. I hope you consider it carefully. Beyond financial strength, the upbringing of future Vance family descendants must also be considered." She looked at Celeste, whose eyes were fixed solely on Ethan. Perhaps love gave one boundless courage. Celeste stepped forward and, with a slightly trembling voice, said, "Mrs. Vance, after I marry Ethan, I will surely bear him a son, manage the household, and raise the family's next generation well. But has said he won't marry any other woman." Every woman desires a lifelong, devoted partnership with the one she loves, and Mrs. Vance must be no different, correct? Please agree to my marriage with Ethan. As her words fell, the faces of the ladies in the hall varied, especially the prominent family mothers whose daughters had hoped to become Ethan's wife, whose expressions turned dark. Miss Celeste is truly remarkable, she's already managing Ethan before even entering the family. Which successful man doesn't have a few women behind him? Moreover, Ethan is Mrs. Vance's only son. What is she trying to do? What if she can't bear a son? Is she planning to let the family line die out? It looks like Celeste is set to become Ethan's favorite. Hearing, Ethan, though knowing it was inappropriate, still defended her. Vivian, I hope you agree to my marriage with Celeste. Eleanor closed her eyes, then waved her hand wearily. Since your mind is made up, I can't control you. In 3 days, someone will be sent to the family to make a formal proposal of marriage. Everyone filed out. Anya had not yet left the family estate when someone called out, Ms. Anya. It was Celeste. A servant behind her held the jewelry Ethan had given her. Celeste walked up, smiling. I'm sorry, Ms. Anya, I didn't expect you not to participate in the performance today. I originally thought you would win. Anya smiled faintly. Congratulations, Miss Celeste, your wish has come true. Celeste's eyes were red. Will you blame me? I know Mrs. Vance preferred you, but I truly love Ethan, and he also said he would marry me. For him, I had no choice but to disregard our bond as friends. Please don't blame me. This diamond necklace was a gift from Ethan. I'll give it to you, as a token of our friendship. I wish Ms. Anya to find her beloved soon and have a family soon. Anya took the necklace, but before she could speak, a man's hand snatched the diamond necklace from her. This is my gift to you. Why are you giving it to someone else? This is meant to wish us to have a family soon after our marriage. How can you be so careless? Celeste looked shyly at Ethan. Ethan, Ms. Anya is upset about not being chosen. I wanted to cheer her up. Don't be so petty. Ethan looked at Anya mockingly. Upset? Anya, my mother likes you, not me. I hope you understand that my mother likely valued your father's support. But once I have the approval of all the shareholders, I will be the next Vance heir, and everyone will have to listen to me, wouldn't you say? I won't rely on a woman's influence to advance my career, and I never said I would marry you. In the past, I enjoyed talking to you, thinking you were generous and witty, but I never expected you to have such grand ambitions, wanting to become Mrs. Vance. Watching them play their little game, Anya was tired of talking. She took a step back. Mr. Ethan, I came to the family's birthday gala because your mother invited me. Please don't utter such nonsense about relying on women to advance your career or marrying me, lest Miss Celeste become suspicious. If she becomes suspicious and thinks Mr. Ethan believes her family lacks influence, how would Miss Celeste manage herself within the family estate? With that, Anya turned and left. Celeste was naturally suspicious and petty. The family had long since declined. Among the prominent families in Seaside, her family couldn't even rank. Compared to Anya's family background, Celeste's was truly insignificant. 3 days later, the family sent people to the family to make a formal proposal of marriage. Once the two families' wedding was set, Celeste immediately threw a party, inviting the young women from prominent families in Seaside. Considering respect, who would dare not go? At the party, Celeste was adorned in rich jewels, wearing all the jewelry Ethan and Eleanor had given her. Though not yet Mrs. Vance, she carried herself with the full demeanor of one. Anya recalled how, in her previous life, Ethan had admired Celeste for her simple elegance and dislike of luxurious jewelry, praising her fresh and unconventional charm. Anya wondered if Ethan, in this life, would still praise her for her unworldly freshness upon seeing her like this. Celeste tightly clasped Anya's hand in front of everyone. Ms. Anya, when it's my wedding, could you be my bridesmaid and accompany me on my wedding day? Having some good friends with me would make me less afraid. Her face was pleading, but her eyes held a triumphant smile. In her mind, she was already the winner in life, and this was meant to publicly embarrass Anya. You're Mrs. Vance. If you say who you want as a companion, who can refuse? I'm sure no one in Seaside would disrespect me, Ethan. Anya, wouldn't you agree? It was Ethan who spoke as he walked in. Ethan had come to support Celeste's party, showing how deeply he adored her. Everyone watched Anya, waiting to see how she would respond. If she agreed, she would be submitting to the status of Mrs. Vance. If she refused, she would be disrespecting Ethan. Ethan was full of confidence, and Celeste was smug, but they forgot that Anya's father was the Hayes CEO. In Bluffs, apart from respected elders, Anya didn't need to defer to anyone. Anya pulled her hand from Celeste's. I'm sorry, but I might not be able to attend your wedding. My father sent someone to pick me up and take me home, and my plane tickets are booked for your wedding day. Celeste looked at Anya, her eyes filled with tears. Is Anya angry and blaming me? Otherwise, what a coincidence that Mr. Richard just happened to send someone to pick you up. Anya's companion answered for her. Mr. Richard's people to pick up Anya arrived last night. They said a marriage has already been arranged for Anya, and after half a year in Seaside, it's time for her to go home and prepare for her wedding. As her words fell, Ethan's face changed dramatically. You're returning to Riverwood? Didn't your father send you to Seaside to find a scion from a prominent family to marry? I know you're unhappy that I chose Celeste as my partner. If I agree, I'll marry her, but I can still be with you, can't I? Celeste's face changed color. Before she could speak, Anya smiled and said, what kind of joke is Mr. Ethan making? That day at the family estate, didn't Mr. Ethan just tell Eleanor that he wanted a lifelong, devoted partnership with Miss Celeste? Moreover, mistress? Ethan gritted his teeth. Anya, must you be Mrs. Vance? Social status? Anya looked at him, puzzled. Ethan, I never said I wanted to be your wife. I've just been in Seaside low. Enough. My family misses me, and I have no relatives here. It's only right that I go home. Is there a reason why one shouldn't return home? Ethan's face grew darker and darker. What if I don't agree? What if I don't let you leave? Mr. Ethan might be disappointed. Ms. Anya and I are already engaged. Is Ethan trying to steal my fiancé? Anya turned around. Entering was Liam, who had grown up with her. He was in a formal suit, his face still showing the dust of travel, indicating he had rushed to Seaside. He walked in, stood beside Anya, and implicitly protected her. Ethan stared intently at him. Liam, what are you doing in Seaside? You should be in Riverwood. Liam smiled. I'm handling a business deal for Mr. Richard and responsible for taking Anya back to Riverwood. He then looked at Anya, his eyes seeing no one but her. Anya, these galas are stifling. I heard there's a fireworks display in Seaside tonight. Would you like me to take you? Anya stood up with a smile and bid farewell to Ethan and Celeste. I'll take my leave now. I fear I'll be long gone by your wedding, so I'll wish you both a happy and lasting marriage in advance. With that, she walked towards Liam and followed him out of the family household. Ethan chased after them. Anya, is being with me truly less appealing than being Liam's fiancé? Once I become the Vance heir, I promise you, I'll let you bear my child, alright? Liam walked towards the sports car outside the gate, opened the car door, and helped Anya inside. Anya smiled as she got in and closed the car door. He drove the car, speeding towards the outskirts of the city, leaving Ethan's words and person behind. Ethan's wedding was a major event for the family. Early on the wedding day, Anya's car was ready to depart. Unexpectedly, their car encountered the wedding motorcade on the street. Anya had specifically chosen a street the wedding motorcade wouldn't pass through, yet, Ethan had chosen this very road. He, in his groom's ute, blocked the car. Anya, are you really leaving? Anya rolled down the car window. Ethan, today is your wedding day. Don't miss the scheduled time. He walked to the car, his eyes holding an inexplicable emotion. Anya, stay. I said some angry words that day. You know I like you too. I just didn't want you to use your family background to pressure Celeste, making her feel inferior. If you change these things, I promise I will treat you just as well as Celeste, alright? After he finished speaking, he reached out to grasp Anya's hand, only to be stopped by Liam. Ethan, your wife is in the car behind. If you keep lingering, you'll miss the scheduled time. The wedding party members, already sweating profusely, ran up to urge him. Ethan, please don't be ridiculous. We can't miss the scheduled time. The guests are waiting at the hotel. Ethan gritted his teeth. Get lost, Liam. What power do you have to oppose me? Who do you think you are? Liam stood his ground. Ethan, you're neglecting your own wife on your wedding day to publicly try to steal my fiancé. Even if it causes a scene in front of the family's guests, I will make myself clear. Everyone froze, watching Ethan and Liam in a standoff. Anya spoke. Ethan, Liam and I are mutually in love childhood sweethearts, and our wedding date is set. You are also getting married today, so why bother with this entanglement? Ethan's eyes were bloodshot. I said I regret it. I want to marry you, Anya. Don't go with him. If you wish, today's bride can be you. How about that? Celeste, having heard that Ethan blocked Anya's car to prevent her from leaving, disregarded wedding etiquette. Dressed in her wedding dress, she lifted her veil and exited the wedding car. She approached just in time to hear Ethan's words. Her face turned as white as paper. Ethan, what did you say? You want to marry Anya? What about me? What am I? She rushed over, gripping Ethan tightly. Didn't we say we only had each other, and you wouldn't get involved with other women? You want to marry her as your wife? What about me? Where do you plan to put me? Ethan impatiently pushed her hand away. I haven't had a wedding ceremony, nor have we formally registered our marriage. You're always sensible, just step aside for Anya, and I will certainly not mistreat you. Celeste's tears fell like broken pearls. Ethan, were all your promises false? Today is our wedding day. How can you say you want to marry another woman at a time like this? Moreover, you and I have already had conjugal relations, and I am pregnant. Do you intend to abandon me and marry another woman? As words came out, the crowd observing the family wedding erupted. Ah, the family daughter got pregnant with Ethan's child before marriage? How shameless! Is such a shameless woman considered a well-bred young woman? What kind of prominent family lady did Ethan choose? She's worse than the daughters of our modest backgrounds. Talking about a shotgun wedding in the street, how can she possibly say that? The family daughters will be hard to marry off now. If I were her father, even if she married into a prominent family, I'd choke her with a rope. The family is getting a daughter-in-law, and it's such a shameless woman. Aren't they afraid of being laughed at? The aunt accompanying Eleanor, who was with Ethan for the wedding reception, watched her face change. The whispers grew louder and more unpleasant, reaching Ethan and Celeste's ears. Celeste finally realized she had misspoken. Her face turned pale, and she recoiled 2 steps. No, I didn't. I just said that because I didn't want Ethan to marry Anya. Ethan, you know my feelings for you, don't you? Anya interrupted their conversation. Ethan, I have no desire to marry you. I already have a fiancé. Please do not delay my travel. Maya and Vivian are waiting for me at home. Liam got into the car. Drive. He, along with the bodyguards sent by Richard, escorted Anya's car, weaving through the wedding procession, and sped away. Anya rolled up the car window and let out a long breath. This time, she finally didn't marry Ethan. She clenched her fists, determined never to let the tragedy of her previous life repeat itself. She would protect her family, residents, and Vivian came out to meet her from the house. My daughter has suffered. Richard's face was also filled with anger. That, still thinks he's such a hot commodity. If hadn't said Anya should go to Seaside, and the family didn't owe the family a major favor in the past, would I have let my daughter go to the family to select a fiancé? Liam apologized nearby. Anya, because Mr. Richard had no other choice, he asked me to say you and I were engaged to bring you back. Please don't take it to heart. If we hadn't said that, Mr. Richard feared Eleanor wouldn't let you leave. So, it was all a temporary measure. Richard said from the side, it's not entirely a temporary measure. I think your marriage isn't a bad idea either. What if Eleanor still has designs on you? You might as well marry Liam, to keep those schemers from thinking about you. Vivian persuaded from the side, I think this is very good too. Didn't you two grow up together? It's not like you're strangers. Anya looked at her parents, still alive and well, and at Liam, who, like her, controlled half of Riverwood's business empire. Her eyes welled up, and she said, I have no objection. My marriage can be decided by Richard and Vivian. Anya's marriage to Liam was set for 3 months later. Richard was overjoyed, and as he had always commanded respect in Riverwood, people came in an endless stream with wedding gifts to congratulate them. The family also sent Ethan's older brother, Arthur, with wedding gifts. Arthur was William's son with his first wife, and also the family's oldest son. After his mother passed away from illness, William married the current Eleanor. Since birth, Arthur had fallen out of favor, so he kept a low profile, serving as a minor shareholder at Vance. Besides bringing the family's wedding gifts, he also brought a project proposal for Vance to collaborate with the corporation. This was meant to both appease Anya for not marrying into the family and to appease Richard. Liam and Richard warmly hosted Arthur, who also brought news of Ethan. Ethan's wedding day scene in the street had caused a commotion. Before the newlyweds even entered the house, everyone in the family knew all about it. On their wedding night, Ethan and Celeste had a huge fight. Celeste smashed countless things in the bridal suite, crying that Ethan didn't love her, that his vows of eternal love had vanished in an instant. Innocence. Ethan was furious. The wife I want is poised and elegant, well-mannered. Look at yourself now. What's the difference between you and a common shrew? You truly disappoint me. If I had known you were so foolish, I wouldn't have given up Anya for you. Innocence? If you were a virtuous woman, it wouldn't have been so easy for you to give in to me that night. Celeste, who do you think you are, a virtuous woman? You were just thinking of getting the Mrs. Vance position. You want both wealth and reputation? There's no such thing. Eleanor had been dissatisfied with Celeste from the start, but Celeste, unaware, went to Eleanor the very next day after the wedding, crying, "Vivian, Ethan didn't stay in the bridal suite last night. I don't know where he went carousing. He just left me alone in the bridal suite. He must still be thinking of Anya. Vivian, mediate for me." Eleanor looked at her coldly. "If you can't hold on to your own husband's heart, and you're causing such a fuss right after the wedding, what will you do in the future? Moreover, Ethan is the family's hope. Besides you, there will certainly be other women in the future. Will you expect me to mediate for you then too? I thought the family was a prominent family and that their daughters would be well educated and sensible. I never expected you to be so useless. You truly disappoint me." She then scolded Ethan. "Celeste is the one you chose. I chose Anya for you, from a prominent family, a model well-bred young woman, and you weren't satisfied. You chose this Celeste from a family of modest background, not presentable. How will she be an asset? What can she do besides being jealous and petty? I fear she'll cause an even bigger scene when you go out for social engagements. You chose her, so you handle her. Domestic strife, how can you achieve great things? Don't let your father be disappointed in you. Your older brother has been performing very well recently, and your father is very pleased. If you continue to be so absurd, be careful not to lose your father's expectations." Ethan, seeing Celeste's complete lack of ability to interact with the high society ladies' circle, had a headache. Following's advice, he started associating with Chloe from Thompson and Seaside, and they were seen out and about together, clearly presenting themselves as a new Mrs. Vance. Chloe was well liked by Eleanor, who also enjoyed bringing her to social events. Meanwhile, Celeste spent her days indulging in self-pity. By the time she came to her senses, Ethan's residence was practically run by Chloe, mistress. Celeste caused a huge scene at the family estate. No one paid attention to her, and instead, she suffered pregnancy complications and miscarried. Anya's wedding to Liam also arrived. Because was an orphan, residence after their marriage. Richard and Vivian were even more delighted with him, treating him more dearly than a beloved son-in-law. Before the wedding, Anya met an unexpected person, Ethan, who had rushed over from Seaside. When he saw Anya, she had just put on her wedding dress. He looked at her in the wedding dress, his eyes reddening. "If I hadn't been so impulsive back then, you should have been wearing that wedding dress to marry me." Anya kept a distance from him, with servants and bodyguards standing nearby. She looked up at him. "Ethan, it's not really appropriate for me to see you, but because we were once friends, I came out to meet you once. There's no need to say these things. If you are truly here to congratulate me, then go outside and have a drink at the wedding reception." He stepped closer and whispered, "I haven't seen Celeste since I got married. I regret it, Anya. If I'm willing to divorce her and be with you, would you be willing to come back to Seaside with me? Your engagement to Liam will be cancelled, and I will compensate him. Every day I regret it, Anya. Would you be willing to come back to me, and give me another chance?" Anya took a step back. "Ethan, I am not willing. I am a Hayes family daughter. My every word and action represent the family. Moreover, Liam and I have a wonderful relationship, and today I will be his wife. Please leave. You thought I used my family background to pressure others, so you married Celeste. Then, after marrying her, you found her petty and unable to help you appear distinguished, mistress. Ethan, you don't want to marry me. You're simply frustrated because you couldn't win me over. You are fickle, making it impossible to like you. Today is my wedding day. I don't want to say anything more. Please leave immediately." With that, Anya turned to go, but he fiercely grabbed her wrist. "You went to Seaside to marry me. Now that I've come to you personally, you're still putting on airs. Do you think your father can protect you forever? Once I become the leader of the family, if I want you, who can stop me?" These words were a threat. Anya turned to look at him. "Then we'll see if my father and Liam can protect me forever." Ethan left, his eyes dark and unpredictable, leaving a sense of unease. After the wedding, Anya told Richard and Liam about Ethan's words. Richard pondered for a moment, then looked at Liam. "What do you think?" Liam scoffed. "A man like that would be a problem if he became the chairman of the board of the family. In that case, let's ensure he never reaches that position." Richard laughed heartily. Good, good. I didn't misjudge you. Besides him, who else would be more suitable?" Anya spoke. "Richard, why don't you consider Arthur? Ethan's older brother?" Anya smiled. "Arthur is William's son with his first wife, and he is also the oldest son. He holds the status of being the oldest, so if he takes over, it would be legitimate. Ethan merely has the advantage of his mother being Eleanor now, but he's unpopular at Vance, whereas Arthur is different. I heard about his reputation when I was in Seaside. Many long-term employees of the family speak very highly of him. Richard nodded. Last time I spoke with Arthur, he discussed the family's development and some proposals. He's a sharp man. And even though he's not currently favored by his father, he carries himself with dignity and grace. He's a man who can achieve great things. Anya didn't know how Richard did it, but he quickly reached an agreement with Arthur. With support, Arthur soon distinguished himself at the family estate. When some of the family's major shareholders discovered this, some began to change their stance and support Arthur instead. Ethan was furious, cursing loudly at the family estate. Eleanor looked at him in disappointment. You fool, I planned everything for you, but you shattered it yourself, prioritizing romantic entanglements over your future. Marrying a daughter from the fallen Miller family, not only has it not helped your prospects, but it has dragged you down. As for that Celeste, if you don't like her, why not send her to the family retreat to engage in quiet reflection with Grandma and let Chloe handle your social engagements outside? If things don't improve, then divorce Celeste. Chloe and Ethan became pregnant in less than 3 months. Celeste was consumed by jealousy, but there was nothing she could do, as Ethan never entered her room. After her miscarriage, he didn't touch her even once, let alone get her pregnant. Before she could finish grieving, she discovered Ethan had a second mistress. She felt her world crumbled. He had 2 mistresses, one was a young woman from Thompson, and the other was Ms. Isabel from the family. Both mistresses had higher social standing than her. Isabel became pregnant after being with Ethan for a month. Eleanor was overjoyed, and supplements his room like water. Both of Ethan's mistresses nourishing meals, but Celeste received nothing. To make matters worse, Eleanor even had people reprimand Celeste. When heard that Ethan intended to send her to the family retreat to engage in quiet reflection with Grandma, her eyes reddened, and she cried, refusing to go. Ethan, I won't argue with them, nor will I be jealous and petty. Please don't make me leave. Ethan said with a hardened heart, you should go and find some peace. When my mother changes her mind, and both of their pregnancies are stable, you can return. Celeste was sent away. Anya had Richard's contacts in Seaside subtly mention, as if by accident, whenever Celeste was around, that Eleanor intended to legitimize Ethan's first mistress to bear a son and make her Mrs. Vance, meaning to divorce Celeste. Celeste's servants, hearing the rumor, were startled and hurried back to tell Celeste. Celeste cried hysterically, I knew it wouldn't be that simple. Both mistresses are young women from prominent families. They want to divorce me and kick me out of the family? Impossible. I will never let them bear children. Ethan had conveniently been sent out of town by William to inspect a construction site project. Only the 2 mistresses were at the family estate. Celeste returned to the family estate, shedding her usual arrogance. She offered good luck charms she had sought to the 2 mistresses. I've been wrong in the past, always arguing with you two. I've recently come to my senses. Since I can no longer bear children anyway, whichever one of you gives birth will have Ethan's first child. Once your child is born, I will immediately ask Vivian to decide who bears a son, and Ethan will marry her. Since I can't have children now, I shouldn't hold on to the Mrs. Vance position. The 2 mistresses were ecstatic. The title of Mrs. Vance was an immense temptation. Everyone knew Ethan was the most likely person to become the leader of the family. Becoming's wife meant becoming the matriarch of the family, and beyond that, they dared not even imagine. Celeste watched the 2 pregnant women leave, a smile playing on her lips. Mrs. Vance? The position of Ethan's wife can only ever be mine. There will never be another. Within 2 weeks, Eleanor received terrible news at the family retreat. Both of Ethan's mistresses had miscarried. Such a major incident had occurred in the family, so Eleanor personally went to Ethan's mistress's apartment. The 2 mistresses were confronting each other, Chloe crying with a packet of medicine in her hand. My fetus was 2 or 3 months older than yours. To prevent me from having a son first, you actually put other medicine in my prenatal medication. And I considered you a friend. Isabel, not to be outdone, retorted, do you think you're a good person? You mixed herbs that cause miscarriages into my tea. My miscarriage was because I drank the broth you sent. Chloe shrieked, that was a concoction Celeste brought back from the temple. I drank it too. Why would I harm you? Eleanor finally caught the crucial point. You both drank the concoction Celeste sent? A family doctor immediately tested the contents of the leftover bowls and nodded, saying, Mrs. Vance, this is indeed a concoction, but it's mixed with some extremely cold herbs. A pregnant woman would miscarry after drinking half a bowl, let alone a full bowl as both of you did. Chloe and Isabel looked at the family doctor in disbelief. How is that possible? Celeste said this was a concoction from a spiritual healer at the temple, and that drinking it would ensure a male heir. Eleanor slammed the table. Bring here. When was brought in, she looked completely unfazed. Yes, I put the medicine in. I can't bear a son, and you want to? That's absolutely impossible. Ethan doesn't touch me, so I can't have a son. Then no one from the family will have one either. In Vance's family, besides me, no one else will be able to bear children, ha ha ha. Chloe's eyes rolled back, and she fainted. Isabel, having a fiery temper, grabbed the paring knife from the table and lunged at Celeste. Because a servant intervened, Celeste was only wounded on the face, a bloody gash appearing, from which blood flowed freely. Eleanor shouted, Celeste caused Ethan's children to be lost. I want her to pay for murder with her life. Call the police and have her arrested. Meanwhile, Ethan, supposedly inspecting a construction site project outside, had long forgotten his actual duties. The manager who had embezzled funds from the construction site had pampered Ethan with beautiful women and delicious food since the day he arrived, immersing him in a lavish and decadent lifestyle from which he couldn't extricate himself. Ethan returned to Seaside and told William that the construction quality was completely fine, and the managers were all very diligent and responsible. William looked at the report submitted by another team, which meticulously detailed how much substandard rebar there was and how much money the manager had embezzled. More importantly, the last page stated that the manager had transferred private funds totaling $10 million to Ethan, along with some jewelry and antiques purchased at auction, all of which Ethan had brought back. At the end of the report were the victims' signatures. William looked at the other investigative employees and Arthur, then, consumed by rage, threw the report at Ethan. As the future leader of Vance, you disregard const. Ruction quality, caring only for a lavish and decadent lifestyle. If corporation were handed over to you, there would be no future for it. These pieces of evidence were all collected by Richard's people, who helped Arthur. Liam also sent his people to help Arthur find the victims, each of whom wrote down their experiences and provided their signatures. The thick stacks of evidence were laid before William. Even if he cherished his son, he couldn't allow such misconduct to go unpunished. Ethan was demoted, and his shares were recalled. He was completely disconnected from management. When he returned home, he found his life completely upended. His 2 unborn children were gone, and Celeste had been detained by the police. He went to see Celeste once and glared at her fiercely. You venomous woman, you killed my children. I'm divorcing you. When she saw Ethan, she neither cried nor made a scene, only stared at him coldly. I once thought marrying you meant I had found the right person, but I never imagined it would be the beginning of all my suffering. However, I'm not afraid anymore. Your mistresses can't have children now. I killed them with my own hands. Ethan, if I can't have it, no one else can either. After speaking, she burst into laughter, black blood trickling from the corner of her mouth. I know you'll divorce me, but unfortunately, I'm about to die. You're too late. I'll be your wife until my last breath. If you remarry, it will be to marry again after a spouse's death, haha. Just like your mother, I am the true Mrs. Vance of the family. Celeste died. Ethan seemed profoundly shocked, never recovered, drank heavily every day, and never returned to Vance. The following year, Vance's board of directors unanimously approved Arthur's promotion to vice. By the end of the same year, William handed over Vance entirely to Arthur, who officially assumed the role of Vance CEO. As for me, I stopped paying attention to news from Seaside. I was pregnant and said solely on being a mother. The day my child was born, Liam was in the nursery assembling a rocking horse. I softly called to him, Liam, our baby can't wait to meet us. I was in labor all night. At dawn, a cry broke the darkness. When I was wheeled out of the delivery room, Liam held me tightly. Anya, you gave birth to a boy and a girl for us. Thank you for our twins. I looked at Liam beside me and our peacefully sleeping twins. My life was complete. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.